Okay, for the triangle ABC, calculate the size of the angle theta and the length BC. So this is introduction to trigonometry. So we've got a triangle ABC, it's right-angled. And the first thing that we really should do is we should try to label the sides. So here we're taking down the triangle. Now, because this side here is opposite the angle, we label this one opposite, or you might like just to put O. This side here is adjacent. Now, adjacent means next to, so it means next to the angle, so it's called the adjacent. And the longest side, which is always opposite the right angle, is called the hypotenuse. We're going to use HYP for that. And then you will probably remember being taught SOHCAHTOA, sine opposite hypotenuse, cosine adjacent hypotenuse, tangent opposite adjacent. Now we want the size of the angle, and we have the adjacent and the hypotenuse, so we're going to use the CAH, cosine. Write down the rule. Cosine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, and then put in the information. Cos theta is going to be equal to 5 divided by 8. Now, in order to find the angle, we need to write this down. Theta is equal to cos to the minus 1 of 5 over 8. That's the opposite process. Please make sure in an exam that you use the correct notation, i.e. cos to the minus 1. Now, this calculation can be done on the calculator. So let's just see how we do that on the calculator. So cos to the minus 1 on the calculator. So we're going to the calculator. Now, one thing we need to think of first, when you turn on the calculator, particularly if it's new, if you go into the settings and go into the document settings, my calculator is set up for what's known as radian measure. And really you will need to use degree mode. Okay, now if you're doing math studies, then you'd have to make that the default, and then you would never have to change it again. If you're doing standard level or higher, you need to make radian the default. So make sure that this is in degree mode, so press OK, and then go to a calculation mode, and then cos the trig functions are here on the calculator. So we click those and we get a menu of trig functions. So we want cos to the minus 1, so that's that one, brackets, of 5 divided by 8, close the bracket, enter, and we get an answer of 51.3178 degrees. So you should write down a few values in the exam, 51.317 degrees, and then write it off rounded to 1 decimal place for an angle, so 51.3 degrees. Be careful if you have to use that again in a calculation. You should use this one up here. Right, for part B, we have to calculate this length here, BC. Well, because we've got 3 sides, we can just use Pythagoras' theorem. Now, Pythagoras' theorem says that this side squared plus this side squared is equal to this side squared. But we're trying to find BC as one of the smaller sides, so we need to do AB squared minus AC squared. So that's going to be equal to 8 squared minus 5 squared. 8 squared is 64, and 5 squared is 25. 64 minus 25 is 39. That gives me BC squared, so I want to actually find BC, so I need to take what's known as the opposite of squaring, which is square rooting. So I need to take the square root of 39 on my calculator. Again, I'm going to get 6.244. Advise to write down a few places, and then write off the final answer correct to 3 significant figures. So that 4 would have no effect on that 4. So the final answer is 6.24 centimeters to 3 significant figures.